Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today I am talking about Wonder Woman box office. And specifically, I'm talking about Wonder Woman box office, Wonder Woman as a box office failure. So why am I talking about Wonder Woman as a box office failure? Well, the reason why is nobody is, and I don't understand why. So I am of the strong opinion that Wonder Woman was a box office failure. And so I'm going to talk about why it's a failure, but I want to get to the point right away as far as saying, okay, if Wonder Woman is a box office failure, what did Patty Jenkins, what did Gal Gadot, and what did DC do to make Wonder Woman a box office failure? And I give you the answer, absolutely nothing. They did every single thing right. So Wonder Woman is a brilliantly directed film, brilliantly acted by Gal Gadot, brilliantly directed by Patty Jenkins. It was masterfully, the costumes were fantastic. It was brilliantly written. It was the cinematography was excellent. The story was fantastic. The computer generated images were fantastic. This was a stellar movie. It was absolutely, I would say, darn near perfect. Okay, you know, maybe one or two quibbles here and there, but this was a brilliant film. It is by far the best DC cinematic film. And when I say DC cinematic film, I mean Man of Steel, Batman vs. Superman, Suicide Squad, Wonder Woman. That's the current DC cinematic universe. And it is, none of those movies even approach it in quality or in story. It is near flawless. I mean, it is a fantastic movie. So and I actually absolutely believe that, that Wonder Woman is a box office failure, okay, then why? Why was it? Well, the reason why is we as America, we failed this movie. American moviegoers absolutely failed this movie. So we keep telling Hollywood, you got to put out the right stuff. If you put out the, movies are dying because you're putting out terrible stuff and you keep putting out the same stuff. Well, here, DC did everything right, and Patty Jenkins did everything right, and Gal Gadot did everything right, and they gave us the best superhero movie in a very, very long time, and it's a box office failure, okay? So, in my opinion, now, I'm part of that, okay? I have a family of 6. I went on Saturday, opening weekend with my oldest son and my oldest daughter, my youngest son and my youngest daughter, right? I have 4 kids and a wife. My youngest son and my youngest daughter and my wife, they had some events. It's getting close to summertime, and they had to go out and do stuff, and they chose to prioritize other items over going to see Wonder Woman. And I think, like a lot of the nation, I think there are millions and millions and millions of people who are gonna be happy to watch Wonder Woman, who they're going to watch it at their own leisure. And what they don't really understand is if you don't see these movies on opening weekend, it sends a signal to Hollywood and sends a signal to the world that the movie's not good. Okay? Now, so that's whose fault this is. The American moviegoers utterly failed Gal Gadot, utterly failed Patty Jenkins, and utterly failed DC. Right? And I think it's important to acknowledge this because it's a problem and we need to fix it. Okay? Now, let's get back to me saying that Wonder Woman is a box office failure, okay? Why am I saying that? Because nobody else is saying this, and trust me, I've been reading the trades, and everybody's like, Wonder Woman is a record-breaking film, right? Well, let's talk about that, okay? Wonder Woman broke one record, okay? It broke one record, and the record it broke, no one, not Gal Gadot, not Patty Jenkins, and not DC, had any intention of breaking that record. It was the last thing on their mind, okay? The record that Wonder Woman broke was top commercial, top opening weekend for a female director, okay? Now, what does that actually mean that they accomplished? It means they beat 50 Shades of Grey. Now, I'm telling you right now, okay, Patty Jenkins is a world-class director, world-class, okay? And that means that when she took $150 million from DC to build Wonder Woman, at no point did Patty Jenkins go, I'm going to beat 50 Shades of Grey. That was not her mark, okay? She is a world-class, she's an absolute world-class director, okay? And so that meant she did have some things in mind. Here's what she actually had in mind, okay? Here's the genres that Wonder Woman belongs to. Action heroine film. It is the 6th action heroine film. Not first. Should have been first. Didn't make that. It didn't do that, okay? And, I'm going to talk about the first one right out here. Right out of the gate, I think, Patty Jenkins saw the complete nonsense that was Man of Steel, betrayed the character, delivered a Superman nobody asked for. Batman versus Superman, oh my gosh, completely betrayed Batman. Clearly, Zack Snyder had no idea what Batman meant to people, that he was a family superhero, that, that this needed to be a family film, that you couldn't have Batman killing people. There's immense amounts of debate on the quality of Batman versus Superman on the internet, but there's not consensus that it's a good movie. It's a highly, highly problematic film. Let's talk about Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad, it is almost universally accepted that the edit job on Suicide Squad is one of the worst edit jobs on any movie in history. Okay, it's complete. It was, it looked like it was a pretty good movie. By the time it was done being edited, you couldn't tell if it was a music video or a film. Right? These are that's the DC cinematic universe. I think Patty Jenkins walked into this and said, "I'm going to slam dunk every single one of these movies, and I'm going to sail past them." And she did, quality-wise. I don't really think you could put Wonder Woman with Man of Steel, Batman vs. Superman, and certainly not Suicide Squad. It is light years beyond that film. Light years beyond any of those films, right? It's just so much better. It's not even comparable, right? But here's the problem. Wonder Woman came in after all of them, okay? It was Man of Steel came in at 116 million. Suicide Squad came in at 133 million, and Batman vs. Superman came in at 166 million. Wonder Woman is dead last. It is the lowest performing DC Cinematic Universe movie there is. And I'll tell you right now, that was absolutely not Patty Jenkins' intention, right? She laced up her sneakers. She came to play, right? She was going to slam dunk the rest of those directors. That was her intention. I fully believe that's the case. She came ready to play, and that meant she wanted number 1 in action heroine. She got number 6. She wanted number 1 in comic book movies, and why not, right? Patty Jenkins absolutely can aim for number 1 in comic book adaptations, right? She was 15th, right? Superhero movies, 15th in superhero movies. Superhero origin films, it is the 5th in superhero origin movies. 5th, right? Opening weekend, June, for all of history, right? It is the 6th largest opening for the weekend. And here's the big one, okay? Wonder Woman made, the biggest one is the DC Cinematic. The fact that Wonder Woman is the lowest performing DC Cinematic Universe movie is just shocking and wrong. America has utterly failed Patty Jenkins, utterly failed DC, utterly failed Gal Gadot, and it's shameful. Like, we owe them, we owed them better than this, and it is so frustrating to me, and I don't understand why anybody else isn't talking about this, right? So here's the other one, right? The big one is $1 billion. Okay, Marvel has racked up $1 billion superhero movies like they're doing a layup. Okay, they have more than I can even list. It's ridiculous. The number's very, very high. They have multiples of them. Okay, and right now, it's so easy for Marvel to do $1 billion superhero movie that they're aiming at $2 billion, and they're upset when they don't make $2 billion. Patty Jenkins' Wonder Woman should have been the first $1 billion DC Cinematic Universe movie, and it's not going to be. And the reason why is it made $100 million on opening weekend. There are 3 movies that made more than this, and none of them made $1 billion, right? So now, if Wonder Woman goes past and makes makes $1 billion, everything I'm saying is wrong. But it's not gonna. And the reason why is I know movie numbers, and the reason why I know movie numbers is I listen to the best person in the world to talk about movie numbers, and that's Grace Randolph. Her material is absolutely brilliant. She covers movie release numbers, opening weekend numbers for films, the way the best commentators cover football scores. The best sports commentators cover football scores, and it's not going to make $1 billion, right? So that's the issue. Is it's really, really sad and frustrating to me that America was given the best superhero movie possible and did nothing with it, and just sat home and watched another Netflix or played another video game or whatever. You know, we failed Patty Jenkins, and we failed Gal Gadot, and we failed DC. And it's frustrating, and I'm part of it, because I should have had my whole family out there, you know, rather than just having half my family there on Saturday. And it is frustrating and sad to me. And also, I'm really frustrated at the media who's not covering this at all. That seems really strange to me. All right, so now I'm gonna talk about a little bit about some numbers real quick here. You know what? I think that's it. You know, and if you want to check any of the things I just said, you'll find every single one of them on Box Office Mojo, who does a fantastic job of generating numbers. I did some I ran through some numbers, and from what I could tell, 1 out of 25 Americans went to see Wonder Woman. Okay. And it's ridiculous. By the numbers, it should have been 14 out of every 25 Americans should have seen that film. And I just thoroughly think, you know, that Wonder Woman was a box office failure. And the reason why is Patty Jenkins succeeded in delivering the best superhero movie in probably a decade. Or actually, I would say since Nolan's Dark Knight, since Heath Ledger's Joker performance, which he pretty much literally died to give. So not beating that, I can understand. But it's just so frustrating to me that we're here, right? And that and that essentially this was a huge moment. This was a historical moment. It was America saying, this is what we think of movies like Wonder Woman. And $100 million, Patty Jenkins was not trying to beat. It was never her intention to beat 50 Shades of Grey. She had much bigger marks in mind. And to say this was a record-breaking movie is just not paying attention to the real numbers. And I think we need to own the failure as Americans. And we really need to learn. If we complain about Hollywood, we absolutely critically must respond when a magnificent film is put in front of us, and we didn't. So, makes me sad. Thank you very much. Take care.